How's everybody doing? My name is Jennifer Baker. I am the manager of the Instagram feed for Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint. And I'm saying hi to everybody as you're joining. Thanks for tuning in live. Hello, hello. The reason why we're coming live today, hi, oh my goodness, I see everybody joining. That's so exciting. Hello. The reason why we're going live today is because I am actually down in my workshop and I wanted to show all of you something super fun with antiquing wax. So I'm just going to give a minute while everybody kind of joins the party. Hello, hi everybody, how are you? So if you're just tuning in, I'm Jennifer Baker. I manage the Instagram feed for Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint. I am on the milk paint team. I work with Marion, who is crazy talented. And by the way, did you guys see the wall mural that she painted with milk paint in her dining room? Like, OMG, is that beautiful. Hi, everybody. And in addition to doing the Instagram feed, I'm a regular contributor to the Milk Paint blog. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you can go to missmustardseedsmilkpaint.com and click on the link for the blog. Hi, everybody. And, oh, thanks. Everybody's throwing up hearts and flowers. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad you're here. And so I wanted to come live today to show you this. So this is, hopefully you can see that. I'm like under the table. This is a super fun table that has been painted in Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint in the color Schloss. Schloss is like a warm gray. So we have Trophy, which is a cool gray, and Schloss is a warm gray in the line. So this little table is almost ready to be finished. So let me catch you guys up on the process of what I've done to it so far. So it started off with a finish already on it. I'm going to put it down. It's a little heavy. Okay, so it had a finish on it already. I scuff sanded it using 120 grit sandpaper. Then I mixed up Schloss in a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 part powder to 1 part water. And then I squirted in some bonding agent because I didn't want this piece to chip at all. It's a really nice, beautiful piece with beautiful carvings. And just based on the shape of it, I didn't really think that this would lend itself to the chippy look. I wanted it very clean, very full coverage, and you can get that look with Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint if you use bonding agent. So I put in roughly 1 part bonding agent to 2 parts milk paint, and then mixed it all together. I did 2 coats. I used a real fine grit sandpaper to smooth everything out. I put hemp oil on it, wiped it back. It's been sitting for a couple days because I haven't been able to get to it yet. And now, what I'm ready to do, I'm just trying to get the lighting right here. I'm getting ready to start highlighting all of these beautiful carvings because, I mean, gosh, like, look at them. Are they not like the prettiest things you've ever seen? I just think that the details on this, and like, look at the feet. Aren't they so pretty? I want to emphasize these as much as I can. So what I'm going to do is flip this upside down real quick so that you can, this is like a little better of an angle. So what I want to do is I want to highlight these with antiquing wax. So if you've never used antiquing wax, don't be afraid. This is what it looks like. It comes in large sizes like this. This is the 200 gram size, and we sell smaller ones as well in case you don't need a whole lot. So if you're gonna do a piece like this, I would recommend you probably get the quart bag of milk paint, but you can use a tiny jar of antiquing wax for something this size. This is not a very big piece at all. And I see you guys typing questions. I will totally run through those and check them in just a minute. So if I haven't gotten to you yet, don't worry. Okay, so when you're using antiquing wax, step number 1 is to make sure that you have some kind of clear coat on your piece first. What you don't want to do is like paint your piece and then pick up your antiquing wax and start putting it on. The reason why is because when you don't have a clear layer of protection in between your paint and the antiquing wax, it can kind of make your color look a little muddy. And things just look a little crisper, a little cleaner, and it just looks a little nicer if you either put on a layer of clear furniture wax first, or if you do what I did and put a layer of hemp oil on first, and then grab your antiquing wax. And just to be clear, if you're going to use hemp oil, you have to do the hemp oil first and then do your wax. What you can't do is do your wax first and then your hemp oil, because wax is like water resistant and it won't let the hemp oil penetrate, and the hemp oil is just going to bubble on the surface and it won't puddle on the surface and it won't soak in. So if you can't remember that, just think in terms of the alphabet. H comes before W, so hemp oil before you wax. So there's your trick. Okay, let me scroll through the questions real quick, and let's see what we've got going on. Okay, people are joining. That's awesome. Hello. I'm just scrolling through because it's just me. When you go live, you just gotta... Oh, someone's scared to use antiquing wax. Don't be scared. That's okay. Can you do clear wax and follow with this one? Absolutely. You totally can. What kind of furniture wax? Ours is what we recommend. So we have a clear furniture wax, we have a white wax, and we have an antiquing wax. You can also use our clear beeswax if you would like to use that product as well. Beeswax is a little stiffer than our furniture wax because our furniture wax is a blend of beeswax and carnauba wax, and it's a little softer, a little easier to spread. It has the consistency of like a natural lotion or like Nivea hand cream, so it's really buttery soft, and all of our waxes are super easy to put on. I don't know if you've ever had like bad experience with wax before, but our wax is really easy. It's super fun. It doesn't smell at all. Like, I mean, I'm in my basement and I'm totally fine. So there's no harsh fumes, and this actually has a very pleasant fragrance. It smells kind of like a natural lotion. Okay, so to put on your antiquing wax, I recommend one of these. This is a wax brush by Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint. So it has nice bushy bristles. They are natural bristles, and you could use a rag as well. But since I have so many carvings here, I want to really be able to like smush, that's the technical term, smush the antiquing wax into these little crevices and really like work it in. So I recommend a brush for that. Now I am going to wipe this back with a rag, but if you're going to put it onto a surface that has a lot of carvings and a lot of recessed areas, I definitely recommend a wax brush. And you don't need a lot. A little goes a long way, especially when you're using antiquing wax. So this is a wax that has been tinted to be like a nice, beautiful, like soft brown color. And the goal of using antiquing wax is to simulate age. Now, when you first put it on, I'm going to start like right here. It's going to look a little scary, okay? You're going to put it on and it's going to be really dark and it's going to be like, oh my gosh, what the heck did I just do? This looks awful. It looks dirty. Like, I am so scared. I just ruined my project. Like, I'm going to go in a corner and cry. Don't go in a corner and cry. Everything is okay. Antiquing wax is supposed to look dark. It's supposed to go on really strong. And when you wipe it back, that's when things start to look okay. So let me grab my rags real quick. You guys type away if you have questions. I'll be right back. Okay. So what I have here are just some lint-free cloths that I got from my local hardware store. And what I'm doing is I'm gently wiping back the excess. And on the raised areas, like the flat surfaces, I'm taking off the antiquing wax. And it is settling in all of the little like cracks and crevices. So I'm going to grab the phone. I'm filming on my phone. I'm going to grab my phone and bring you guys in so you can see this area a little closer. You ready? Here we go. away you go. So check that out. I'm gonna come around so you can get kind of a better view. See how there's like a shadow now in here? All that darkness, that's the antiquing wax. So it just kind of creates like more contrast, a little bit of depth and character. It's really nice. Okay, so let me back up and put you guys back. Okay, get you situated again. Okay, let me pop down and answer your questions real quick. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you for saying it's beautiful. I really appreciate that. Oh, great question. Chick Stuff 22 says, would you put clear wax over the antiquing wax again to seal it? That's a wonderful question. The answer is no, you don't have to. Antiquing wax is a sealer in and of itself. How long after you apply the wax do you start wiping it off? I wipe mine off right away. I work in small sections. You can absolutely use a finer brush for details. Does it stain the color of the paint? That's a great question. Antiquing wax will darken the color of your milk paint a little bit. It's kind of impossible to put it on without having it darken your paint. If you do put it on and it's a little too strong, you can wipe it back and then use some clear furniture wax and put it over top and then like wipe that back, and the clear furniture wax will kind of act as an eraser to lighten and take away some of that antiquing wax. So you can reverse the look if it looks a little too strong for you. We don't have any gold finishes, so don't know about that. And do you sand in between milk paint coats? A cozy cottage, great question, and the answer is yes. Well, actually, the answer is yes and no. So you can sand in between coats, or you can just wait till you're all done. It's totally up to you. But I do recommend doing a fine sanding when you are all done, because that gives you that nice, smooth feeling. So let's keep going. And what I'm going to try to do, sorry for the noise. I'm going to try to move a little closer so that you guys can get a better view of what I'm doing. So let me just turn this around a little bit, and we're going to keep going. So I'm just going to keep putting the antiquing wax on and let you guys watch. And if you have questions, you just keep typing away. That's why we go live. We go live so that you can see things in real time and get your questions answered. One tip that I have for you is, as you're wiping, try to find a clean spot on your rag as you go so that you're not like redepositing the antiquing wax on your piece. So that's just a little tip from me to you. There we go. And let's try like a flat area. Let's try up here and see how that works. So, and when I put the antiquing wax on, I'm not grabbing like a ton. Here's roughly the amount that I have on my brush, okay? A little really does go a long way, and this is probably a little too much. So there we go, that's better. Can you see? Okay, so here we go. Up on the legs now. And again, as you're putting this on and you're wiping it back, if you feel like it's too strong and you're not happy with the look, you can always grab some clear furniture wax and go over top of the areas that you antiqued and kind of erase what you did and sort of like dial it back a little bit. That's a really good tip to keep antiquing wax under control. Another thing that will help your look not be so intense is to have a clear layer of something, whether it's hemp oil, beeswax, furniture wax. Having that clear layer in between really helps. I'm going to pick you up again and bring you in so you can see. See, whoops. See, like right in there. And let me bring you up the foot. I know it's shadowy here, but can you see just how that darkness is in there and it just kind of sits in those crevices and adds like a nice age and a nice patina to everything. Every little nook and cranny and ding and mark really gets emphasized when you use antiquing wax. Okay, I'm gonna put you back. Let's check some comments. Oh, great question, Chick Stuff. I have 2 coats of paint on this piece, and once this video is over, you can go back and watch the beginning and see how I prepped it, because I did explain that earlier. Let's see. And then Felix and Fit, I did answer your question already. So you can, again, rewind and kind of watch that again. I'm just going to keep going. Let me see if I can get you guys a little closer so you can see what's happening. You keep typing away. I'm going to keep waxing. And as you're waxing, sometimes because this is a natural bristle brush, you will get like little strands that kind of come out of your brush sometimes. You just flick them off. It's okay. Sometimes that happens with natural bristle brushes. No harm, no foul. Just pick them out. And do you see what I mean when I said earlier how nice it is to use a brush instead of a rag? I mean, this brush, I'm going to bring you in again, does such a good job, like just smushing the product into all of these little areas. Like, look at that. Let me get you up here. See how the bristles act like little fingers and they just like push the product in? That is why I love using a brush over a rag. Just my opinion, just my 2 cents. If you're a rag girl, then you be a rag girl or a rag guy. That is okay. If you have an old t-shirt, you can certainly use an old t-shirt to wipe this off. I do caution you though, because t-shirts tend to carry lint, and if you're using like a darker color like typewriter or Artissimo, that lint is definitely going to show up on your piece. So I kind of caution you against that. Maybe only use a t-shirt on lighter projects like this. So just a thought. Okay, so that's how you do wax on like carved areas. Oh, great question. The awesome Insta. I hope I got your handle right. She says, how do you clean your wax brushes? That's a really great question. I personally dip mine in mineral spirits and swish it around. And then I get a clean rag, and then I kind of wipe it back until all of this tint is gone from my brushes. That's just me personally. Do you have to separate brushes for each color of wax? Or do you clean your brush every time and reuse it for other colors? Great question. I personally, let me come back so you guys can like see my face. So I personally, because I clean my piece with mineral, or my brush with mineral spirits, I use the same brush for everything. You can have separate brushes if you like. If that's not in your budget, then I recommend using mineral spirits to clean your wax brush off. Our brush soap also does a really great job at keeping these bristles conditioned. So that's just how I do it. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you guys how to use antiquing wax on like a flat surface. So here is, let me see if I can get this situated a little bit without it falling off my table. Okay, here's the top of the table. This is going to get antiquing waxed too, but you see how flat this is? All of the carvings and the details are around the edge, but I have to wax this whole part here. So when you do that, you want to try to go in the direction of your piece. Use like longer strokes and maybe try to just work in sections. So like right now, I'm only going to do about half. Let me do this with my left hand. So I'm kind of taking longer strokes. What I'm not doing is swirling, only because I just personally find that on flat surfaces, you'll kind of see those swirl marks. And if I want my look to be nice and even and like, you know, kind of all uniform, wiping sort of in the direction of the piece or like in a natural direction, like I wouldn't wipe like this. I would wipe like this. Does that make sense? So I'm going to keep going, and I'm just wiping everything back. until I personally like the look. There is no right or wrong way to do this. There's no like magic point where, okay, you stop when your piece looks like X, Y, or Z. This is all totally your personal preference. Some people like to put their antiquing wax on really heavy. Some people like to put it on really light. It is totally up to you. But this is a really nice visual so that you can see how antiquing wax does darken the color of milk paint. So this is Schloss with just hemp oil on it. This is Schloss with a layer of hemp oil, and now it's been darkened with antiquing wax. So you can definitely see the difference. And there's no way to prevent this from happening if you're using antiquing wax. If you don't want it to get this dark, but you still want maybe like the carvings up here to get emphasized, then only put the wax up here and like leave this part alone. But know that this part is going to get darker. So you just kind of have to play with it until you like the look. So let me check on our comments. I've got lots. Okay. As far as wrapping your brushes for the next project, you can try that, but sometimes the wax can get really stiff. So just be careful that you don't let your brush sit too long. What kind of rags am I using? Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, in the United States. So I use this. These are the Toolbox brand of rags, and I get them from our hardware store called Home Depot. But I'm not sure where you're tuning in from, but you can definitely check your local hardware store and get them there. The color is Schloss. That's for one of our other viewers. Oh, great question. Does it take time for the wax to dry, or is it ready to use immediately? That is such a good question. Such a good question. So, if you read your labels, Miss Mustard Seed has done a fantastic job at making sure that all the labels on Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint products tells you how to use it and how to take care of your piece once you've used the products. So, all of our finishes, hemp oil, furniture wax, white wax, antiquing wax, beeswax, tough coat, they all take 20 to 30 days or 3 to 4 weeks to totally and completely cure. They are mostly dry to the touch within a few hours. Now, if I run my finger along this piece and I kind of look, it's not waxy. Like, this does not feel like a candle. It's not sticky. It feels really smooth, and it's really soft, and I'm not getting any wax coming off on my hands. But this piece is not ready to use yet. Because it's a table, right, you expect people to put things on top. This is a surface that I would highly recommend that you leave alone for 20 to 30 days, and you let this surface totally and completely cure. There's a difference between dry time and cure time. So dry time is how long is it going to take for this piece to feel dry to the touch, and I can run my hands on it and nothing comes off on my hands, okay? That usually takes anywhere from 20 minutes to maybe 2 hours, just depending on what combination of products you're using, what the temperature is, the humidity, all that. But how long it takes this piece to totally set up and for all of the finishes to be at their most durable, for them to be done evaporating, drying, and setting up and like being ready to be used like hardcore, that timeline is 20 to 30 days. So if you're going to do a table and you finish it off all in Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint products, we strongly recommend that you do not put anything on top of your table for 3 to 4 weeks. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well then, like, you're saying I can't use my piece for 3 to 4 weeks? Like, what is that? Let me just encourage you, if you have gone through the process to refinish a surface and you've worked so hard, and you've spent the money on the products, and you've put in the time, and you've watched the tutorials, and you've read our blogs, don't ruin your finish by being impatient and start using it before it's ready. This is a surface where you would definitely want to use coasters to protect against water and heat, I would not recommend putting anything really scratchy on this, like a metal lantern or like a barnwood photo frame that's going to get like dragged all over the surface. If you do absolutely need to put things on this during the cure window, make sure that they are things that aren't super heavy. You use coasters. You watch water. If you dribble some water on here, make sure you wipe it off real quick. And the other nice thing about Miss Mustard Seed's finishes is that they're very livable. And what we mean by that is if you do mess up your surface, whether it's during the cure window or even afterwards, these are products that you can buy online or from your local retailer. You know exactly what colors, what finishes are on here, and you can fix your finish using products that you can buy readily, and they're not that expensive. Compare that to, you know, if you bought this from some company and it was already finished, you have no idea what kind of finishes they used on this piece. So that's what's nice about buying Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint products. They are buildable. You can darken the look in stages. They are livable. You can easily fix mars and flaws in the finish because life happens, and they are affordable, and they're things that you can do yourself. So that's a really great question, and I hope I totally touched on everything about like using this when it's all done. So I'm gonna keep going. If you guys have more questions, you just pop them there in the chat window. We're having a great conversation today, you guys. I'm so happy you tuned in. And if you are just joining us and you have no idea what's going on, I'm Jennifer Baker. I manage the Instagram feed for Miss Mustard Seed's Milk Paint. I'm a member of the Milk Paint team. I work with Marion and Heidi and Chris Hardeen. She manages our Facebook feed. And Wendy, she takes care of our retailers. And I'm showing everybody how to use antiquing wax on this little table that I painted in Schloss. So we're just going to keep wiping here. Now if you notice, right here, this is where I finished and I was talking, and this is the new part that I just did. There is a little bit of a color difference, but don't worry. As I blend these two together and as the top part starts drying, it'll all blend together. There won't be that stark like line here anymore. So when you're working on flat surfaces like tabletops, you want to try to pay attention to your strokes. You want to try to watch like when you go back and forth, like just watch where you start to go in the other direction. Watch for like swirl marks in the wax. Just kind of pay attention to how you're applying it and where it's going. But this is looking mighty pretty. I am really liking this look. Another thing about antiquing wax, and any of our waxes really, is they're also buildable. So you can put multiple layers on to add more protection. If you want to buff this with like a little buffer on your drill, you can buff this to a low shine, but none of the finishes are really shiny like a gloss. I think the most shine you'll ever get out of a milk paint finish, a Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint finish, is like a very low satin. So, but most of them are flat and completely matte with no shine. So if you like the no shine look, then these are definitely your finishes. So I'm gonna keep working, and this is kind of the end of our live session here. So again, to recap, we used antiquing wax by Miss Mustard Seed to add a little depth and dimension to this little table. And after this video is over, if you have more questions, just making more room. If you have more questions on this process, what I did, how I did it, how do you know, anything else regarding antiquing wax, anything regarding any of the finishes that I mentioned, the process, bonding agent, go to our website, MissMustardSeedsMilkPaint.com. We have tons of articles, blog posts, tutorial videos explaining how to use all of the finishes. go to Miss Mustard Seed's YouTube channel. Just go on youtube.com, type in Miss Mustard Seed, hit search, and she has tons of video tutorials for you to watch. She even has one on antiquing wax. So thank you so much for joining. It was so nice to talk to all of you. I loved your questions. They were fantastic. So we encourage you to give antiquing wax a try and to move mountains in your home. You guys have a great week. Take care. Bye.